Hello, underachievers. It's really hot in my room. So I felt really shit the last few days. I'm still depressed. Don't worry, Mum. It's fine. Nothing happened. But yeah, I was feeling really shit. I literally just had a shit, and it was so good that I was like, wow, that's made my day. I gotta film a video. Like, you know when you have a shit that good that you feel like empty and you feel like, okay, I feel like a new person now. Pretty much what I'm saying is that I'm only functional because of a shit. Oh yeah, also, we've got a cat now. This is Artie, he's Phoenix's cat. I used to hate him. I used to think he was a dick because he's a cat, but he's fine. He's good. He's a good cat. I like him. And now he keeps coming into my room and not leaving. So, we're friends now. Also, I know my hair is too much, it's whatever. So, I've decided to do another video about boarding school because although there's lots of things that go on in my life, people are still really interested about, like, that point in my life when I was living in school. And I guess it's kind of interesting if you've never, like, experienced being in boarding school, or you don't know anyone that's been in boarding school, or you don't even know what boarding school is. Pretty much a boarding school is just a school that you go to where you sleep there overnight. There are different types of boarders, so you could be like a full boarder, or you could be a part boarder, or you could be like an overseas student. So how much you board depends on, obviously, your situation. But normally a full boarder would go to school and they would sleep over school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they go home on the Sunday, because we had Saturday school. But some full boarders will sleep there a whole week, and then another whole week, then another whole week, and another whole week, and they won't be picked up until like half term or the end of term. Overseas students are students from overseas, so they'd come from a different country, so usually they'd be in school until like the end of the year. The end of the year. I was a part boarder, so I slept in school Monday, Tuesday, went home Wednesday, slept at school on Thursday and Friday, and went home Saturday sometime. But we also had parades on Sunday. Look, my school was confusing. I went to a boarding school. It was a naval boarding school, so we did marching and shit. They taught me how to shoot a rifle. We wore the Queen's naval uniform. We had special permission from the Queen to wear that uniform. Not many people can say that. But yeah, it was a boarding school. Did I enjoy it? There's literally so much I could talk about and I could explain everything, but I thought it'd literally just be easier if you guys just ask questions so I know what you guys want to know and then I can fill you in. So, would you rather have gone to a day school? Realistically, yes, but when I was in boarding school, I didn't know that I wanted to go to day school, so like I don't blame my parents or anyone that like made me go there. I wasn't made to go there. My parents were like, hey, you want to go to this school? Because my brother went to that school. So I was like, yeah, I'll go to that school. And we had really cool uniforms, so I was like, yeah, go on. I feel like I would have had a better time at day school, but also, I don't know because I didn't go to day school, so how am I supposed to know? It would have been nice to go home after school, but also I was in like a shitty home situation at that point in my life, so I don't know, who knows. Someone asked, are common rooms like in Harry Potter a thing? I think they meant thing. Yeah, common room is pretty much just a living room. What do Americans call it? Americans call it a living room, right? So yeah, it's pretty much just a living room. It's got a bunch of sofas, usually a TV. That's pretty much where, if there's a meeting on in your boarding house, that's where the meeting would be. But because I went to like an ex-naval school, we had like different names for everything. So our common room, which is a living room, was called the gun room. Our house kitchen was called the galley. The school cafeteria was called the mess hall. But yeah, common rooms were a thing. Were there less kids than at a public school? I mean, my school was quite small. There were like 420 students, which is fucking hilarious. 420, very cool. Usually boarding schools have less students because less people go to boarding schools. Were slumber parties a thing? I guess they were. Some people had sleepovers. I didn't really have anyone I wanted to sleep over with. But considering you lived with the people in your house, I don't feel like slumber parties or sleepovers would be that exciting because you see them every morning, every evening, in the day, in sports, in lunch, so I guess it's less exciting. But yeah, I mean, it happened. We weren't really allowed to have sleepovers unless it was like a special occasion and your housemaster was like, okay, you can do it. Don't you miss your parents a lot when you go there? Yeah, you do, and when I first started, I missed my parents a lot, and I was very cryy and upset and wasn't happy about that. Yeah, a lot of kids get homesick. My boarding school started at, age 11, but most people joined at age 13. So obviously, if you're 11 or 13, you're going to be missing home. You're a kid, you're still going to be missing your parents. There's a lot of homesick students, but you get used to it. You see them on the weekends most of the time, and not everyone boards. A lot of people are day pupils anyway. Was it anything like Hogwarts? Now, I always get asked this question, and the more I think about it, the more my answer is yes. We had a big tower. The whole school was split into houses, and there were always house competitions. There were trips to the village. We didn't do all the magic shit, but like, yeah, it was like Hogwarts. Except less fun. Like, less fun. Think of all the bad parts of Hogwarts, and that's what boarding school's like. Was it shit? I mean, I don't want to slander my boarding school, but yeah. There's a reason I don't say which school I went to. You could probably guess which school I went to if you really looked into it, but I'm not going to do it by name because I could say a lot of shit about my boarding school and get them in a lot of trouble, and I'm not going to do that. Even though I did enjoy it, I'm not going to be bitter about it. you know, I'm bitter about it, but I'm not gonna get into beef, it's dumb. Yeah, it was quite shit. We paid a lot of money for not much output. The GCSE results were alright, but the A-level results were shocking. The school food was terrible, and literally they did a fucking questionnaire on everyone's email, and like 90% of the students were like, we don't like the school food, it's like inedible. Although there were some very good teachers, there are a lot of really shit teachers. I remember my last year of school, the most important year of school, I had about 4 of my English teachers like drop out or just get fired or just leave my school, which was great when I was already behind on the syllabus, which that's fine, whatever. A lot of the buildings were run down, and the geography block and the science block were built, and they were supposed to be temporary in like 1919 or something, and they still use them today. It's not good. There was also contaminated water for a few days. I don't know what it was contaminated with. It wasn't good. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of boarding schools are great, and obviously a lot of kids enjoy them, and you get like really great opportunities if you go to them, but I feel like mine was a bit subpar. Especially for the amount of money that my parents were paying, like, it wasn't good enough. Like, public schools around us and public schools all over the country were getting better results, and I feel like they were getting better support academically than my school. It was also really homophobic. Did you miss out on things because you're at boarding school? Yes, I feel like I missed out on a lot of things. Because my boarding school was quite small, I didn't really have a group of people at my school that I thought were like my people, if you get what I mean. Like, I had a few good friends there, and they were lovely, and they still are lovely, but a lot of the time I feel like my friendships were friendships out of convenience because they were the only people there that I could be friends with. There wasn't anyone else to be friends with because you're all locked into this like little society on top of a hill where you couldn't leave. So none of my best friends actually went to my school, so I never got to see them. And because I had Saturday school, I didn't get to see my friends on a Saturday. I'd see them on a Sunday, and some people weren't available on a Sunday, and then you can't have a sleepover if it's on a Sunday because, you know, like, you got school the next day. Also, here's a fun thing. We had parades every few Sundays. Because it was a naval school, we had to march and shit. But yeah, we had parades that were compulsory to go to on Sundays. So we'd have school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we'd sleep over on Saturday, and then we'd have parade on Sunday. We'd finish about 1 PM, and then I'd go home, which was an hour and a half away. Get home at about 2:30, have that amount of time to do anything, and then I'd have to get up early the next day to get the train to school, which took an hour and a half, and it just, like, it wasn't enough free time. Very stressful. It was a lot. It was a fucking lot for a kid to go through. And I guess if you need that kind of scheduling in your life, it's great, and I did need that scheduling in my life a lot, but also I was very depressed, and I had very bad mental health issues, and like, it just wasn't for me. Did you ever get bullied for being different? Yeah, I guess. It wasn't really... Sorry, I got cat hair on me. It was never really that bad. It was like, just like name calling and people taking the piss out of me. Were there any openly LGBT people there? I mean, the people that were openly LGBT were only openly LGBT, they're only out because they were outed by other people. There was a girl a few years below me, she was gay, and like, she was outed. She didn't want to be outed, it wasn't her choice. Everyone just found out, so I guess I'm the gay kid, is probably what she thought. There are a few people that, you know, I could tell, like, I knew they were LGBT. After I finished school, I had a lot of people message me privately and come out to me and ask me for advice and ask me what to do, and like, that's great. I'm glad that they could come to me about that, but the fact is that my school was so, like, against LGBT people. It wasn't that they were publicly promoting, like, anti-LGBT things, but everyone knew certain teachers were homophobes. A lot of the pupils were homophobes because they're all Tories. It wasn't a healthy place to be if you're in the closet, if you're confused about your identity, or if you just need, like, help with that kind of stuff, because it wasn't talked about in my school. It wasn't allowed to be talked about. Fun fact, every year in England there's a week where it's like anti-bullying week. Usually they're themed, and I remember one year the theme was like supporting LGBT people, and it was banned at my school. We weren't allowed to celebrate Anti-Bullying Week. Well, it's not that we weren't allowed to celebrate it, it's just it wasn't brought up. Like, nobody talked about it like they did every other year. Which is, like, very suspicious, you know? Also, a religious studies class was taught that being gay was a choice, which is not cool. After talking to one of the people that was outed at my school, she was told that she wouldn't be allowed to get a girlfriend because it would be inappropriate by one of the teachers. It just wasn't a good environment for, like, LGBT people at all. And one really cool thing that happened, so Channel 4 approached me, and they wanted me to be part of, like, their trans documentary thing on Channel 4, so I was like, yeah, I'll join, and then obviously my school watched it because it was on Channel 4, everyone watches Channel 4. After that, my housemaster approached me. She was like, hey, I'm proud of you, a lot of people at school are proud of you, would you be interested in coming back and having a chat and maybe doing a talk to a bunch of the pupils so you can educate them about, like, trans issues and, like, LGBT stuff? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds okay, I feel like that's chill, that's a good idea because the school needs it. And then she said, if I don't get back to you, it's because the headmaster hasn't approved this talk. And she never got back to me, so I guess, like, I could literally go on a rant for like years about how like bad that school was at that kind of stuff, but next question. Did I ever want to date anyone there? There was a boy that I went out with for one day. I dated him because I liked his hair and he liked sports, and I was like, I like sports and also I like your hair, let's date. And then we kissed and it was terrible and nothing else happened. I didn't really have crushes at school. I'm very fussy when it comes to people like that. I don't really feel feelings like that until it's someone special. Were there any annoying posh people there? Hell yeah, fucking full of Tories. A Tory is a conservative if you're not from here. But yeah, I mean, there was obviously a bunch of nice posh people. Posh people aren't all twats, and I think people would probably say that I'm posh. I don't feel like I am, but like, if you want to say I am, then whatever. I mean, I have like a southern accent. Past the point. There were a lot of posh twats there. Yeah, there were. They had very rich families. They had very rich parents. They had like houses all over the fucking world. They had 12 houses with fucking 24 bedrooms each. Some of them dropped out because they didn't want to do school anymore because they'd never have to work a day in their life because they were so fucking rich. The types of people that went to my school were like A, posh twats who couldn't get into other boarding schools because they weren't smart enough. B, scholars that were really good at music or like sports or like drama or anything. I was a sports scholar. They went to this school because they could afford to go to the school because the scholarship gets you a lot of money off. Or C, kids with parents in like the armed forces. They'd get a lot of money off to go to these schools because obviously it was like an ex-naval school, so they have like respect for that. But yeah, school full of posh twats. A lot of them, you know, dicks. We had a mock election at my school where like kids would vote for the parties they wanted, and like 41 pupils voted for UKIP, I think, which is it's a racist party. It's not a good party. It's not friends. Did you feel comfortable being known or seen as female? Obviously not. If you're watching this and you didn't know I'm trans, by the way. I was born a girl, which is really cute, but I'm a dude now, so that's cool. Of course I didn't want to be seen as a female, but there was no other option. If I came out at school, it would not be a good situation. My school would not know how to deal with that at all. Was it easy for people to hook up, or did they get caught easily? It wasn't easy. My school was quite strict, but obviously if you wanted to hook up, you'd manage to do it. I had no experience in that area, so I'm not really sure. What are the craziest places people would hook up? So, if you went to my school, there are a few places you could go to have sex. A lot of people would go behind the chapel, the school chapel, and do what they wanted to do there. There was also a little shed by the hockey pitch where people would go. Under the tower, there was a little room where the guns were kept. I can't be asked to explain. But you could go in there and there are sofas and people would just fuck in there. They'd smoke weed in there. That was the little naughty place where people would go. What type of shoes did you have to wear? I had to wear Doc Martens, which are cool. Oh. Doc Martens are cool. I liked them. A lot of kids didn't because they had to wear them, but like, I like Doc Martens. Oh, I got the hiccups. Are you still friends with anyone from boarding school? A few people. I'm not like amazingly close to them. I've talked to them a few times since I've left, which is cool. They're nice, but they're not like best friends. They're not like those friends. Did you shower with other people? Now, I got asked this question quite a lot. We didn't shower with other people. We had like bathrooms and like there were showers with like, you know, curtains. We didn't shower naked with other people, although we did do that in my like junior school I went to before I went to this school, which is kind of weirder because we were younger and naked. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Were you open about your gender? Hell fucking no. When I was in boarding school, I still had the YouTube channel, I had the Instagram account where I was Noah, and I know that a lot of people from school like not followed but knew about the account and looked at it, which made me really uncomfortable because I wasn't out at school and they knew me as a different person. They knew me as a girl with a different name and it was just fucking awkward. If I came out of school, it would have been fucking disastrous, and I'm not just saying that because like I was scared. It would have been terrible. My school does not know how to deal with that kind of stuff. They hardly know how to deal with gay kids, but like if I came out as trans, what boarding house would I be in? What classes would I be in? Would I do sports with the boys? What would they do? I don't know what they do, but it wouldn't be good. Not to mention the people at that school were incredibly sheltered, and obviously it's a generalization. Not everyone was like that, but there were people that had never been on public transport before because it was dirty. There were people that had never met gay people. And I get it, because people at my school weren't out because they were too afraid to be out, but like it just would not have been a good environment. And especially because I'd be living there, I wouldn't exactly be able to escape if I had a bad day and people were being rude to me about being trans. I wouldn't exactly be able to go home because I lived like an hour and a half away. I'm stressed thinking about it. No, I was not. Were there any strict uniform/dress code policy, including undershirt/pants probably? Not undershirt or pants. Pretty much our uniform was blue navy shirt, blue navy jumper, trousers if you're a boy, skirt if you're a girl, Doc Martens shoes, and tights if you're a girl, and socks. You're a boy. The uniform policies were strict. The girls had to have all their hair completely tied back. They weren't allowed the little straggly bits. They had all of the fucking hair tied back, which is not a look for anyone. The boys' hair had to be a certain length. The sides weren't allowed to be shorter than like a 1 on the side. The top wasn't allowed to be like down past your jaw or something. It was ridiculous. Was there drug dealers? Funny enough, there were. I don't know if this is just a rumor, but I'm pretty sure it's true. My school had this policy that if you admitted to like having drugs in school or doing stuff like that, you could go and admit it to someone and you wouldn't get expelled for it. You'd just be like, okay, we'll take your drugs. Bad boy. But yeah, there was a third former apparently who was a coke dealer, and I know what you're thinking, a coke dealer? Oh yeah, by the way, third form is like a 13-year-old. There was a 13-year-old coke dealer, and I know what you're thinking, like, coke, that's fucking expensive. Yeah, it's expensive, and people at my school were ridiculously rich, so there was a coke dealer. There was also a bunch of kids that would like smoke weed, and then they got caught because they were fucking idiots and did it in a really obvious place, and they'd had alcohol with them as well. Stupid. They were stupid kids. Were the posh boys fit? Absolutely not. I'm just not turned on at all by posh accents. It's just not, nah, I'm good. Do you ever go hungry at boarding school not having your own kitchen? We did have our own kitchen, but for some reason, I was banned from cooking in it because apparently I cooked too much in it and it would set a bad example for other people in my boarding house. I was banned from cooking for a week because I used to cook so much, because the school food was so shit. Nobody liked the school food. Here's a picture of what we were served one day. It was horrible. I don't know what meat that is. I keep trying to figure out what meat that is, but I don't know, and it's really stressing me out. But yeah, we were served that. We were served frozen curly fries. We were served pigeon sausages. You weren't allowed more than one protein, so if you had ham, you couldn't have cheese. If you had cheese, you couldn't have ham. There were so many dumb rules, but yeah. I went hungry at school. I had to just bring in a lot of tuck. Tuck is like snacks. Tuck is like food you bring in. There's so many words that I forget people don't use. Are you allowed to have sex in your room? No, you're not allowed to. It's not an allowed rule. It's not a thing that you can do. The girls aren't allowed in the boys' rooms. The boys aren't allowed in the girls' rooms. I guess you could have lesbian sex, but the housemaster would probably find out and tell you off and say that's naughty. Did you have a fancy tennis court? No, we didn't. Our hockey pitch was also a tennis court. It was a sand-based Astro, which is very old, and every time you fell over in it, you get infected. But the tennis court that I played tennis on was, it had a sinkhole. Pretty much in the summer term, the sports you could do was either like tennis or athletics, stuff like that, or swimming, and I did tennis because I'm not fucking running for no reason. But I did tennis, and everybody did tennis, and the school didn't have enough tennis rackets or tennis balls or tennis courts, so me and my friends used to go to a shitty tennis court by one of the boarding houses, and one year the tennis net just wasn't there, and we're like, what the fuck is up? Like, we're trying to play tennis. So we played tennis without like a net for about 2 months, and then we asked what was up with it, and apparently there was a sinkhole in the tennis court, and then we looked for it, and we're like, yeah, there's a dent in the floor. Did you dislike the constant having to be somewhere of the very scheduled school day? Yes, I disliked it. I guess it's good for me because it kept me doing things. If I didn't do that, I'd do nothing, and to be fair, I did nothing for a lot of the time. I just napped because I was sad. It's good that they give structure to your life, but also it's a lot for a kid having to have like every part of your day scheduled. I'll tell you like an average day at my school. So you wake up at 7, go to breakfast at 7:30, then you'll have like assembly or you have a house muster at 8. Then lessons start at 9, you have 2 lessons and then you have break time, which is 25 minutes, then you have another 2 lessons, and then you have lunch, and then after that, you have sports for an hour and a half every day, pretty much every day. You either have sports or like CCF, which was Combined Cadet Forces, where you learn how to shoot things. After that, you have time to get like changed, have a shower, and then go to dinner. After dinner, you had registration in your boarding house, you had to be there, and then after that, you had an hour and a half of compulsory homework time that you had to do. So from 7 until 8:30, you had to do prep. After that, you had free time, but you kind of had to like finish doing your free time shit at 10 PM because you had to go up to bed. So apart from break times, which you can't really get anything done in, it's not long enough, you have about an hour and a half of free time, which is not fun at all, just wasn't good. It's just, no. Could you leave the school grounds to go to town, and like, did you have the same freedom as at home? We had like no freedom. If you wanted to go to the village, you have to sign out your name and you have to ask permission from your like parents and then also your housemaster, which is so much effort, so people just didn't ask, they just kind of left. You were only allowed to go to the village on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I think. Other than that, you had to stay in your house or stay around the school grounds or be in someone else's house. You have to have strict permission to leave school grounds. Even if you didn't have any lessons that day, you'd have to stay in school. Like if you had freeze, you had to stay in school until the end of the day, which is ridiculous. How ridiculous is that? So dumb. What a fucking waste of a day. There was a bunch of times that I just left school. I made up excuses so that I could go to concerts and so that I could just go home because I didn't want to be in school. But yeah, there was like no freedom. How did people react to you acting like a boy? Well, when I first joined, people were a bit confused, but then they warmed up to me and I was quite popular in my first year of school. And then I just got sad. Not really sure what happened. Wasn't really that popular. I'm still to this day not sure what people think of me, like, at that school. I really want to know what people thought of me, because, like, I came out as trans when I finished school, and everyone was like, oh, that's cool, but what do they actually think? I don't actually know. I want to know what they think. Did they torture you with chores? I'm gonna ignore the spelling. Yeah, we had chores. Jesus, there's so much. Pretty much we had galley duty, which is kitchen duty, where you have to do, like, cleaning up the kitchen, which is fair enough. It was on a rota, every year had to do it. There was also gunroom duty where you had to like clean up the gunroom. Also when you're in the older years you had to register the whole house, which was fun, which it was not fun because you had to go around everyone's dorm, which was quite a lot of people. You had to find people, you had to make sure everyone was in, you had to make sure they were in like bed at the right time. You had to collect their phones if they're in third form, which is like age 13, and it was difficult to get a phone off a 13-year-old. Of course it's fucking difficult to get a BlackBerry off a fucking 13-year-old when they're spending all night BBMing their boyfriend. There was also prep duty, we called homework prep, where you had to supervise the third form doing their homework, which was a lot because they just want to be loud, don't they? They just want to be loud and fuck shit up. I just wanted a nap. Did you have homework? Yes, we did have homework, even though we weren't allowed to go home. We had homework. We had a lot of school and a lot of sport every day, and then they also gave us homework, which was a lot. Does that make you a Tory? No, I'm not a fucking Tory. Did you share a room or have your own? So, when you join the school, if you're in the lower years, you usually share, well, if you're in the lower years, you do share a dorm. When I first joined, I had 3 roommates, and then it moved to 2 roommates the higher up I went, and then in my last year of school, I had my own room, which was nice. My roommates were nice, I guess. We had arguments the first year because we were like children, but whatever. Was anyone suspicious of you being trans? Absolutely, yes. There were people that would make little comments. Like, they'd make a comment that they saw my YouTube videos, and I'd be like, alright. Very good. Also, my roommate, who was my roommate for 4 years, one day she was like, you like boys or girls? Because obviously everyone thought I was a fucking lesbian for some reason because I had short hair. And I was like, fuck's sake, I do like boys. I've told you this a million times. I'm not interested in girls. No matter what anyone says, I don't want to fuck a lady. And she was like, okay, you like boys. So when you have a boyfriend, are you going to be their girlfriend or their boyfriend? And I was like, fuck, she knows. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, Sasha, what are you chatting? I don't understand what's going on. But then, yeah, I came out to her. There are a few people that I was out to. Like, when I say a few, there's like 2. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were suspicious of me being trans. And if they were suspicious of me being trans, they were suspicious of me being a lesbian, which wasn't true. Nothing against lesbians. If you're a lesbian, keep doing you. But I just wasn't one. Does it mean you're rich? No. Most of the time, yes, it does. But people always seem to do this. If I say something they don't like, they're like, oh yeah, well, you're a spoiled kid, you're rich, your parents are rich, you went to boarding school. I'm like, okay, let's unpack this. I went to a boarding school because I got a scholarship, which is a lot of money off of the school fees. My family also got a bursary, which is money off the school fees. It's what you get when you're like, when your family has less money than other people, you get given a bursary, which is money off. So I was given money off for a scholarship, and for a bursary. And also, for some reason, I was charged as a day pupil for a long time. My school fucked up. So, my family are well off enough, but I'm not a rich twat. Oh my god, there are emotions. Is there more student-teacher relationships? Yes, there are, and that's a good thing, because I like some of my teachers. Obviously, you saw your teachers a lot of the time, and a lot of the time, the teachers would be in your boarding house because they'd be helping supervise. So you got to know, like, your housemaster very well, your deputy housemaster, people on duty, you'd get to know them really well, which was nice, because some of the teachers were really nice. I had, like, a bunch of teacher friends, and I have them on Facebook now, which is nice. Were the showers rank? In a lot of houses, the showers are rank. My shower was a bit... our showers were like... They weren't disgusting. Well, they had like bugs in them sometimes. I didn't use the bath because there was always bugs coming up the plug hole. But we had one bath. The showers were not nice. You couldn't control what temperature it was. If the heating wasn't working, you'd have a cold shower. And if the heating was working too well, you'd have a boiling fucking hot shower. Also, the pipes, the hot water pipes, were not like protected by anything. So if you had a hot shower and you accidentally fell backwards or you stepped backwards a tiny bit, you'd burn the shit out your back. Thank you. Do people think you're a super rich twat when you say that you go to one? Yeah, they do. A lot of people do. Fair enough. A lot of people are super rich twats. I don't think I'm a twat. Maybe you think I'm a twat. Fair enough. But What was the food like? Absolutely atrocious. It was so very, very bad. Wow, that video ended so negative. Okay, that's fine, guys. We good. I'm out of boarding school now. If you're in boarding school and you enjoy it, good, I'm happy for you. There are good parts of boarding school. I was just depressed, so I didn't get to experience them. But yeah, it's cool to live with your friends if you've got good friends. If you've got people you want to be around. And I'm very thankful to my parents because they gave me this opportunity. I got to do a lot of sports, and I love sports. I loved sports a lot. Hockey is great, and I wouldn't have been able to do that much sports if I didn't go to that school. I also feel like I did learn how to, you know, like, socialise with a few people because they taught us how to become proper citizens. I didn't really need much from school. I'm a YouTuber now. But yeah, that was the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I keep rubbing my nose. Got a bogey in it. It won't come out. That's the video. Have a good day or don't. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'll answer them. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just read them and scroll past because I get angry because I get asked them all the time. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I've been really depressed. Okay. Have a good day or don't. Hope you guys are good. Really do. Genuinely, like, I hope you guys are doing well. That would be good if you were. I've got to stop wiping my nose. Alright, bye. Give you a punch. Give you a punch. Give you a punch. Give you a punch. I don't know what to say now. I've got a spot on my... Okay, bye.